Good morning, YouTube. We got a new scope today. Well, actually, we got it in yesterday, but it's on the gun. Just got to dial things in, baby. Anyway, so let's talk a little bit about this. Okay, so this is a UUQ scope. It's a 4x16x44, and it comes with scope rings. Yay! Picatinny mount, by the way. And of course, you do get a sunshade to screw onto the front. However, when you do that, of course, it does make your gun look more mean and nasty, like the sniper it should be anyway. I love guns. Anyway, problem though is, yeah. Can the manufacturers of the freaking planet out there do your job right so we can still put these on with our sunshades? Thank you. Anyways. We all have this complaint. It's been there throughout history, and yeah, they don't listen to us. I don't know what it is. But anyhow, so I'm going to unscrew that because, yeah, I'm not a sunshade fan, but hey, you know what? It is what it is. So UUQ is kind of like an offshoot to Leapers, okay, which is UTG, right? And so we did have to cancel Project Bugbuster for this gun. I was finding that even with using 2 offset rings to hold her back, I was still pranging my neck too much to get up on the thing, and I'm like, I'm not cutting 2 inches off the back of my stock just to get that to work. It's like, screw that crap. Okay, it's a brand new gun. I haven't even shot it yet. Okay, anyways, however, we do have flip-up caps that are very much locked on tight to themselves here, which is kind of good. That's a thing that Leapers needs to learn. But in this position, it is absolutely perfect view. This is very comfortable, okay? I'm like really super happy with this. Now, as far as lens quality goes, mwah, magnifique, y'all. I mean, come on, it's a $100 scope, but it's great. Color's good. As you're moving across, it's really nice. Okay, now this also has a red, green, and blue illuminated mil dot reticle, which has not just the dash marks, but also numbers across the horizontal plane and the bottom vertical only. You'll have numbers and dashes, but on your top side, dashes only on the mil dot. Now, I love mil dot scopes. I think they are like the cat's meow. They're the best things in sliced bread, okay? Now, you're also going to get scope rings that are Picatinny mount. They are a little bit high riser, so it gives you some distance off your barrel, which is nice, okay? Now, on that as well, our dial is here. Very stiff, no noise on any of this stuff. Really, really good. And even on our focusing eyepiece, which we got to pull that back and, you know, set that up, which I've already got mine already dialed in for me here. Now, the funny thing about the AO, okay, the AO on this is weird. When you back it off all the way, okay, it drops to 30 feet, okay? And I'm like, wait a second, 30 feet. That's like, huh? I thought this thing is in yards. It's quarter ammo away at 100 yards for these. What the hell's with feet? Well, as you turn the dial and you notice things, it'll say 50 feet next. So 30 to 50 feet. Somewhere in between will be your number. Okay? Anyways, the idea here is getting rid of parallax, right? This is the whole point of adjustable opticals, is you need to ditch the parallax, because with parallax being involved, every time you change your head position, which is every time you cock your gun, or if you jerk your head while you're shooting a semi-auto, your reticle moves on you, or it appears to move, which throws you off, which means this gun is a piece of garbage, or all the ammo you tried is all garbage, right? It's like, I went through 300 brands of ammo, dude, and it still won't shoot with a crap. It's a bad gun, right? No, it's not. It's you got a bad scope, because any scope without adjustable optical is garbage, okay? I've been around guns my entire life, mainly pellet guns, granted, okay? I shot a lot of my friends' firearms over the years, but now I have my own collection going because now I have my pals, so we're all good. Anyways, so the next spot here we hit, what? Oh, now we're getting into yardage finally. Okay, so we hit 25 yards, and then we hit 50 yards, 75 yards, 100, 200, 300 yards, and to infinity and beyond. Okay, so we can set our parallax in a multitude of ways, and I kind of really like that. That's actually quite cool. Okay, now I'm gonna put this at 25 yards because that's actually where I'm gonna dial this particular rifle in at, is about 25. And then I'm going to creep closer when I'm at the target, or actually bring the target closer to me on the range. They are portable, which is nice. And I'm going to see how much my POI has changed, because this gun is for grouse, squirrel, and rabbit, okay? So, but I wanted a freaking decent scope. And you don't have to spend, literally, you do not have to spend hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars to get a good scope for your gun. Okay, now some people think you do, and that's fine for those people. But we're not those people, and we don't have their endless amount of cash. So we have to figure out, is there quality scopes out there that are going to still work for our firearms? Now, I watched a video on this, but before we get to that, so we have our 4x16, we have our adjustment for our focusing eye relief here, and of course we have our AO. We have also the red, green, blue dial on the side, which is kind of nice. Okay, my leaper scope I have, it's all friggin' computerized digital crap, and it's like 2 buttons, and I can program like a multitude of colors. It's like, anyways, whatever. But this is red, green, and blue, 3 levels of each. Nice. Okay, good touch. Standard 2032 battery, also nice. Go to the dollar store, buy a pack of 3 for $1.50. You're good for the next 8 years. Okay. Anyway, so these turrets are lockable and unlockable, but they're also resettable to 0. Same as the leapers, except done differently, okay? You pull up to unlock, or pull out to unlock, okay? So, and then you just turn the dial once it's unlocked, do your sight in. When you're done, lock it, grab your Allen key, remove the screw, pull the dial right off, reset to 0, pop her back on, and there's a marker here and a marker there for your 0 marks, and then you can say, I have zeroed my gun at this yardage. Okay, and when these are put back down, then it's locked. They're not going to move. Okay, so it's kind of cool, right? I'm actually surprised it's very, very little movement, okay, in order to lock and unlock these, because this is like, you know, that's really good. And then, but, oh no, actually it is more movement. I had it off-centered a bit. Okay, so it does have more room than that. There we go. Okay. It's like, holy cow, this one moved less. No, they actually moved the same. So that was my bad. Anyway, so we unlock, we can twist and lock it. Away we go. Okay? And we're going to bring this one back to 0 because I'm actually kind of curious where they set this at the factory. Okay? And they're pretty fine clicks, which is nice too. So, but you have to remove the screw all the way, then pull the cap. Okay? So make sure when you're at 0, you're locked. Hold this, unlock it by removing the screw all the way, and then just pull straight up so that you don't turn, okay? And then just rotate to 0 and gently align it so you don't throw yourself off your 0, and then put the screw back in. Now, because it's very short threads too, it doesn't thread in very far, it doesn't need to, and don't go, okay? Just rotate it till it stops on its own, and a little tiny bit of snugness, and you're good to go. It's gonna stay there, okay? Now, I bought this scope because I saw a guy shooting this with a high-powered rifle, and it held together. It held at 0 just fine. Everything was good, and I figured, well, if this scope can literally handle that high-powered of gun, I don't know if it was a 30-30 or a 30-06 or what the hell it was he was shooting. Could have been 5.56 for all I know. I don't remember. I'd have to rewatch the video. But anyways, I've heard of UUQ scopes in the past, and I never really thought much about them because I've been a Leapers fan, right? But the Leapers scope that I'd like to have right now is 1, out of my budget range, and 2, not even in stock anywhere in Canada, so I'm screwed, right? So I figured, well, Amazon it is. And my buddy also that I got 2 of my guns off of him for free, he likes Amazon scopes. And I think he's using the UUQ as well. I'm going to call him later today and find out, because this thing looks so familiar now that I've seen it in front of my face compared to his that I saw the other day, because I'm pretty sure that's what he has. But anyways, these are $100 a pop, and they are designed for firearms and for air rifles, pellet guns, well, pellet rifles, whatever. Now, I will say this about scopes in general, okay? When you're using a scope on a spring-powered or nitro piston air rifle, because I am somewhat of an expert when it comes to pellet and BB guns. I've been shooting them my whole life, modifying them my whole life, you name it. Made you guys, a lot of you guys, custom parts over the years too, okay? Now, I know that technology of, we'll say, firearms, okay? And I have also shot PAL-rated air rifles that my friends have. And I can tell you that the slam coming out of an air rifle that's rated for, say, 950, that generally gets around, 850s, you know, maybe into 860s, all right? They have one hell of a slam. And that slam sends a vibration through the entire gun very violently as it hits. Now, there are what's called recoil canceling air rifles. Okay, so basically you have 2 pistons going this way at once. Okay, one to shoot your ammo out and the other one to cancel off the slam recoil. Those guns, I would say, would be fine with this, right? Because they're not going to have more vibrational slam than a 22 LR. Probably a little bit more than 22 LR, but not much. Okay, and 22s really don't have that much to begin with, so you're good to go. But a regular front slam only nitro piston or spring rifle, whether it's PAL or non-PAL, they are very violent to scopes. So you need to make sure that the scope you buy for air rifles especially are rated for spring powered or nitro piston. One or the other is fine, because they both do about the same damn thing anyway, okay? Make sure it's rated to handle that, okay? Because if it's not rated to handle that, you may or may not get scope damage, okay? So it's gonna vary, right? And this is where scopes can get more costly for some of you folk still shooting pellet guns, all right? Where firearm people, yeah, we can buy a $100 scope off Amazon and apparently throw it on a high-powered firearm and it's fine, okay? Because recoil and vibration is different in powder burners than it is in spring and nitro piston. But I will say this, for any, and I do mean any, PCP, which is call it a pump-up pneumatic, okay, which is done by either a hill pump or it's done by a compressor to about 3,000 plus PSI, or whether it's a CO2 powered or pump action, okay, so crank hand pump, any of those 3, you're fine with pretty much any scope out there. It doesn't matter, okay? But when it comes to spring and nitro, you got to watch that one, okay? Anyways, I don't know how well this would handle, so buy one, try it, and if you blow it up, well, you know it won't handle spring or nitro piston, okay? So, but on that, it looks to be very quality built. Everything moves very smoothly on here. There's no, I mean, there's a little bit of noise in there, but you got to expect it. This thing is put together tight as a doorstop. As far as our focusing eyepiece goes, just a hairball, a little bit of noise, but very stiff. It's going to stay there. Not a big deal, okay? And the 16 times zoom is really nice, and your minimum zoom is 4 times, which kind of works out because the scope that came with this gun was only 4 times. Now, the sunshade is nice too, you know, if you're into sunshades. I personally am not, okay? But if you also want to make it look meaner, but also solve your sun issue, you can use your sunshade, and it really makes this thing look like a beefy sniper toy. It's like, oh, we're gonna go sniping today. Yeah, bunny rabbits, squirrels. Anyway, and gross. Those are my 3 choices for this gun. That's what this was bought for, and some target shooting, obviously. But your POI will change with your sunshade. So my basic advice is kind of like find out how much it throws it off by, and if it's acceptable to you that you're still going to hit your target, who gives a crap, okay? But if it's not acceptable, because it will change POI, I have found this to be true, okay? Even with using scopes on air rifles, okay? If it's not acceptable to you, then you will need to say, okay, well, where I'm going to be doing this and this, there's a high probability I'm going to have to deal with a lot of sun at times, so I'm going to dial my gun in with the shade on for shade use, okay? Now, the thing is when the shade is on there, you cannot use your lens cover cap. Manufacturers, can you please fix your stupid problem that's always been here through history? Anyways, I think every gun owner complains about that, even every air gun owner as well, okay? Is when you have a sunshade, you can't use this. And it's like, we got to keep the dust off, and we don't want to have to keep taking it on and off all the time, okay? Because some people actually do dial in their guns specific to leave the sunshade on all the time. A, so they don't lose it, and B, because they just like it, and it does make their gun look more cool, right? So anyway, up to you. That's my take on it, but I'm not giving you a review score at this time because I haven't even shot this gun yet, period. So I want to wait until I've shot the gun and sighted this in and see how well it does for me out at the range, and we can go from there with that one at a later date. This is just a first look or first impression, and I really like it. And for $100, even without a review right now, go try one out. What have you got to lose? It's Amazon. If you don't like it, send it back and get your money back, okay? That's kind of where I stand. But do wait for the review either way if you want to. I'm not sure when I can get out to the range. I'm relying on my buddy right now because I'm not a member of the club yet. So whenever the weather and him work out together, we'll be able to go and I can get this all done, and then I can give you a review after that day at the range on the scope. And then I'll probably do a review on my gun at the same time because, well, we haven't even shot it yet, so we got to get to doing that as well. In the meantime, I got to get out here and do a few things, so I'm going to pack this back away where it belongs. You guys have a fun and exciting day, and we shall see you on the next one. Ciao.